ሰላም እንዴት ናችሁ? ዛሬ አጠር ያለ አንድ ቪዲዮ አንድ ላይ እንሰራለን። The video is all about how to download and install Android Studio ሚለው ይሆናል ማለት ነው። ስለዚህ ቀጥታ ወደ ቪዲዮ። ስለዚህ መጀመሪያ ምንድነው የምናደርገው? ያው Google Chromeን መጀመሪያ ኦፕን አደርጋለሁ። You can open any browser. My favorite browser is Google Chrome, so I have opened it, and let me enter to the google.com. So I have to enter to the Android developers official website, which is Android Studio download ሚለውን ሰርች አደርጋለሁ። Here is the official website from the Android developers official website. ይሄንኛው download Android Studio የሚለውን የመጀመሪያው ሊንክ ክሊክ አደርጋለሁ። Here is I have opened it in a new tab like so. So in order to download the Android Studio is ultimately the IDE, which is the integrated development environment or IDE for the Android app development. So እዚህ ጋር እንደምታዩት in order to download the Android Studio setup, I have to click this button. It says all about download Android Studio Ladybug. So I have to click it. Then if you want, you can read all the terms and conditions related with this setup. You can see the version here, 2024.2.1 is the version. I guess this is the nickname. Here is and you can read all the terms and conditions for this setup, and we have to check this checkbox that says all about I have read and agreed with the above terms and conditions. So I have to select it. Then you can, as soon as you select this checkbox, this button is going to be enabled so that you can download. As you can see right here, this setup is for the Windows, for the Windows operating system. So I have to click this button in order to download the setup. So click here. So my setup is here. As you can see, it is going to be downloading right here. I can click this so that I can see the progress. It takes a few moments. So when this download is finished, we will install it together. Okay, here it says done. It's over, the downloading is over, it is done. So I can go to download to the downloads to open the file explorer like I do, like so, and I have to click this one, downloads. So within this, my file that we have downloaded right now is right here. Here is the setup. So this is all about how to download the Android Studio setup. So in order to install Android Studio on our machine, which is on our computer, I have to right click on this setup, right click, then open or run as an administrator. I have to, you can simply double click it without administrator, but I have chosen to open it as an administrator. It doesn't matter. So here is, please wait while the setup is loading. So I have to wait until my setup, the installer setup, is going to be launched. Okay, it will be launched within a moment. Here we go. This is the Android Studio setup. Okay, so here it will tell you all the steps that we need to take in order to install our Android Studio setup. Okay, so the first instruction is that, or the first step is that, click next to continue. So I have to click the next button, and we have to choose all the components that we need to install in our machine. by default, the Android Studio component as well as the Android virtual device components are clicked or checked. So you can read further, okay, by hovering on the first component. You can read it, the description on the left side. So I can hover it, I can read its description, I can hover over the Android virtual device or AVD, and I can read its description on the right side on this one, okay. So ultimately in your system or your computer have a space required this much, 3.6 GB. I'm talking about this space, about the secondary storage device, okay. So you have to make sure that your device or your computer has this much space on the secondary storage device, okay. So I have to click the next button, this one, and this is all about the location in which the Android Studio setup installer is going to be installed. So I have to leave it the default location, but you can choose your location. If you need to change is the location of this one, you can browse this one, okay. You can click this browse button. So you can choose your location, but I will leave it the default one, this one. So I have to click the next button. So the next step is we have to click this install button, okay. So here we go, the installation of all our components are ultimately begin. You can see all the components that are installed through this setup. You can see it right there, or you can click this button, show details, so as to see. When you click that button, you can see all the details. So as soon as this progress is finished, then we can proceed to the next step. So I will be back soon as soon as our Android Studio is being installed. So we will be together after a moment. So it's almost done. It's almost there. Okay, it's completed. Here it says it's completed. The installation completed. Setup was complete successfully. Then the next, let's proceed to the next step by clicking or by pressing this button, which is the next. Click. Then this is all about completing Android Studio setup. So it by default this checkbox is checked, meaning that as soon as we press this button, the Android Studio setup is going to be automatically launching for us. So let me press this finish button. Okay, so within a moment the Android Studio here is launching. As you can see right here, is all about Ladybug. Here is the version, here is the nickname. The Android Studio IDE is ultimately on the way. Before continuing, you must download the necessary components or select an existing SDK. So I have to click this next button. Okay, so here the SDK components setups in this Android Studio, the SDK components, okay, the Android software development kit components are going to be installed. Here is this is checked the Android SDK and Android with this version, Android 14.0, or its nickname is upside down cake, or with its API level is API level 36. This is going to be installed as as an Android version. So the Android SDK is going to be installed with this version, Android 14.0, or here is the nickname and the API, it's API level. So let me click the next so as to download all the SDK components on this location. Here is the location, Android SDK location. The Android SDK is going to be stored, okay, going to be stored on this location. So I will leave it as this one, as it is, as the default. So let me click this next button. Here we go. Verifying setting. So if you want to review or change any of your installation settings, click the previous. I can click the previous. I mean, if I am convinced that I can change something on the previous setting, I can back by pressing this previous button. But current setting, Android emulator, all this previews are going to be listed as follows. So let me click this next button. Okay, so all here, the Android SDK license, all what we are going to install on the studio, on our what components, SDK components is going to be have on the Android Studio setup. All those are going to be here. So I have to enable this radio button, which is by default it's going to be the decline radio button is going to be enabled, but I have to accept it, this one. Okay, so I have to, our next step is to click this button, which is the finish. Here we go, downloading the components, all the SDK components that we need to in order to develop an Android application is going to be here on the way. So in order to do this, ultimately you have to make sure that your internet is you are connected to the internet. Okay, so because those all components, the SDK components, are going to be downloaded from the internet. So ultimately it takes some time. Ultimately, actually, it depends on the performance of your internet connection. If your internet connection is very fast, it takes a moment, some time, and if it is very slow, relatively, it takes what more time. So we have to wait until all those SDK Android software development kits components, all the plugins are going to be installed, going to be downloaded and integrated on the Android Studio setup. So I can click this button, show details, so that to show what is going to happen in detail. So let me click this button like so I can see what is going to happen, which tool or SDK is downloaded and installed or integrated into. So I can see like so. Ultimately it takes some time, so after a moment I will come back after all those tools and components have downloaded and installed. Okay, all the Android SDK components has been downloaded from the internet and installed or plugged in or integrated to the Android Studio setup. So it has been completed. So our next step is going to be to click this finish button. So let me press this finish button. Okay, this is the welcome to Android Studio ID. So those are the list of my previous Android applications before this app setup is going to be installed. I have another version of Android Studio. So on that Android Studio I have developed some Android applications named as my demo app, my first app, my application, and so on, so that it lists over there, so I can remove it. Remove. But for you, for those of you who have installed this Android Studio for the first time, those previous Android Studio applications are not going to be listed over here. So let me remove it. So after removing it, the window, okay, the window is more or less looks like this one. Okay, welcome to Android Studio. So here it says all about create a new project to start from the scratch. Okay, or you can open existing projects from the disk if you have previously created Android projects or applications previously existing on this disk, on this device. So I can open it here by pressing this open button. But since we want to start or create an Android application from the scratch, our first step is we have to click this one. Okay, projects. Then from this, press this one, new projects, or press this button. So let me press this one, new projects. Okay, here it comes with a new window. It says all about the new project. So this window comes up with templates for different devices, for the phone-end template device, for the wearable devices, or I can have templates for the television devices, or I can have templates for the Android automotive devices, or for the Android TV devices. Here is the templates. I have a list of templates for various Android devices. Here is for the phone and tablet, Android phone and tablet devices, for the wearable devices. So you can select, okay, the templates for the various types of Android devices. So in this case, let me focus on the first template, which is the phone and tablet. So after selecting this one, I can choose different types of templates based on my need. Okay, I can start by pressing from no activity template. I mean from the get-go, from the scratch, or I can start by having this template, which is empty activity template, or by having this basic view activity, or from the bottom navigation view activity, or I can start by having this template, which is empty view activity. Okay, please don't select this one, because this template doesn't give you, as of this version of Android Studio, okay, this template doesn't give you the option to select between the Kotlin and Java language. So instead of selecting this one, just select this empty view activity, this one, this template. So this template is all about empty view activity. After selecting this template, then press the next button, like so. Here is the language. In that previous empty activity, there was no an option for this language to select between the Kotlin and the Java language. But in this template, which is empty view activity, I got or have this selection. I mean this option that enables me to select between. I mean, if I want to develop my Android application with the Kotlin, I can select the Kotlin, or if I want to develop my Android application with the Java language, I can select this one. I have an option within this template. So on this template, it says all about empty view activity template. I can name my application here. The name of my application is, I can go with the default, my application with the default, okay, default my application, or I can change the name of this application. Let me modify it, my first app. I can name it like so. It doesn't matter whether it has a space in between or not. It doesn't matter. It doesn't. Okay, you can have a space, or you can't have a space, or you can remove the space, or you can have a space. So I have renamed the name of my application, my first app. Here is the package. It says all about the package name, com the default is all about the com.example.my first app. This is all about what I have written over here. Okay, without, but in case of this, don't give a space. If you give a my space first space up, here is the warning. This character is not allowed in Android. Okay, so don't in our package name doesn't need to have any space in between. Okay, so here is the package. So you can give this any package. As far as this project is for the demonstration on this host, on this local machine only, you can give it any. For example, com.android.my first app. You can you can write it as follows. But pay attention here, since this package name is going to be used, okay, as an ID for our project, okay, meaning that after developing this project, Android project, name it as my first app, and if you want to deploy or distribute to the Google's Play Store or Apple's App Store, this package name, since our application is going to be identified using this ID, okay, this package name or this application's ID should be unique. What does it mean? Let me show you practically. What is the meaning of this one? Let me go to the Google. So here is the Google. So let me the Play Store. Go. I can write the Google's Play Store or Play Store. Okay, here is this is the Play Store, the Google's Play Store that we can deploy. Okay, we can distribute or we can deploy our applications so that our applications can be downloaded by some Android device users. Okay, so after deploying or distributing our application to this Play Store, which is the Google's Play Store, but for the Apple's operating system users, there is a store also. Is all about App Store. This is for the Apple devices, App Store, but this is for the Android operating system devices. So for example, let me search a Telegram application from the Google's Play Store. Here is the application. Okay, by clicking this one, let me open this application. Here is this application. After developing this Telegram application, they are deployed or distributed to this Google's Play Store, isn't it? Here is the ID. Their ID is here. It says all about ID equals to org.telegram.messenger. Okay, so this application, which is the Telegram application, is identified or uniquely identified on this Play Store, Google's Play Store, by this ID, which is org.telegram.messenger. The same is true on our application. If we are developing this for the teaching purpose or for the demonstration purpose only on this machine, on the device, ብቻ የምንጠቀምበት ከሆነ ችግር የለውም፣ የፈለግነውን መጠቀም እንችላለን። ቢኮዝ as far as እዛ ፕሌይ ስቶር እስካልጫነው ድረስ ማለት ነው፣ ወይ ደግሞ ዲፕሌይ እስካላረግነው ድረስ ችግር የለውም። ግን አፕሊኬሽናችን ፕሌይ ስቶር ወይ ደግሞ አፕ ስቶር ላይ ምንጭነው ከሆነ ግን this package name is going to be used what as the ID or the identification number for as a uniquely, our application is going to be uniquely identified through or using this package name. Let me copy my package name. Okay, copy levelat. ስለዚህ let me check whether it has let me paste ID equals to, let me paste right here. Okay, com.android. So let me check whether it has previously occupied that ID or not. Enter. So this ID is free. Okay, this package name or ID is free, so I can use what? I can use to develop my application and what then after that I can deploy to the App Store, or Play Store, to the Play Store or App Store through this ID, because እችኛው አይዲ አልተያዘችም እዚህ አፕ ስቶር ላይ ወይ ደግሞ ጉግልስ ፕሌይ ስቶር ላይ ስላልተያዘች ይሄንኛው አፕሊኬሽን through this package name ክሬት አድርጌ ጨርሼ ወደዚህኛው ዲፕሎይ ማድረግ እችላለሁ through this ID። ቼክ መጀመሪያ እችኛው አይዲ ተይዛለች በሌላ አፕሊኬሽን አልተያዘችም የሚለው ቼክ ማድረግ አለብኝ። አልተያዘችም፣ ስለዚህ እችኛው አይዲን ተጠቅሜ ወይ ደግሞ ፓኬጅ ኔም ተጠቅሜ ይሄንኛው ዲቨሎፕ አድርጌ መጨረሻ ላይ ዲፕሎይ ማድረግ እችላለሁ ማለት ነው። that's all about the package name. Here is the location. So let's back to, let me close this one. Okay, let me close this one also, and let's back to create our project. So I have selected this template, then I have named, I have given a name for my application. Here is the package name, and let me go with the default one. Default is example com.example dot my first app. Then here is my project is going to be saved on this location, so I can go there and check whether it has or not. So I can here is the language. I can select between the Kotlin and Java language. So since by now I am going to work with the Java language, so I have to select this language. Here is the minimum SDK level. Its default is API level 24 or Android version 7.0. Okay, here is the nickname. So this project is going to be developed by having the minimum SDK level of this one. Minimum SDK level. The minimum SDK level indicates that this project that is going to be developed in this minimum SDK level is going to be tested. Okay, is going to be tested in a physical or virtual device that have an Android version with the API level of 24 and more, 24, 25, 26, and up to 30, up to the current version that is released. And our application is going to be tested or installed on an Android devices with an API level of 24 and more. Okay, here is the description for this minimum SDK level. Your app will run on approximately of this percent the devices all over the world. So if I can increase this percentage to more than this, I can go like this one, so 99.9. Okay, I can go to this one 100%. Okay, I can go to this one. Here you go, KitKat. Here is 100%, or I can use the default one, which is 24. Okay, or I can use the very latest upside down, which is Android with Android version 40.0 with API level 34. So if you select this one, you can see the possibility of the other devices that are going to be used your project is all about 13 percent only. So in order to get the advantages of using your applications all over the world by the Android device all over the world, just you have to be, I mean, you can go with the default API level of, because this is very good. Okay, this percentage is more than enough, 97.4. Okay, so you can also click this button, help me choice, so that you can see all the percentages, the cumulative distribution percentages, the respective API levels. እዚህ ጋር ቼክ ማድረግ ትችላላችሁ። Okay, so let me press this cancel button. So after selecting this all, I can press this finish button. Let me minimize this one. Here we go, generating resources. and it will create a new project based on this template for us. Here we go. So if you create an Android application for the first time, it takes some time. Okay, it takes some time. So since it needs to download all the dependencies from the internet, the first thing that you need to aware is that if you create for the first time, if you create your Android application for the first time, this Android Studio needs to download all the graded dependencies from the internet. So you have to be connected to the internet. Even if Android Studio setup download ለማድረግ ኢንተርኔት ያስፈልጋል፣ ኢንስታል ለማድረግ ኢንተርኔት ያስፈልጋል። ኢንስታል ካደረጋችሁ በኋላ first when you create the Android application or Android project for the first time, ለመጀመሪያ ጊዜ Android application create ያደርጋችሁ ከሆነ ኢንተርኔት መኖር አለበት። ኢንተርኔት ከኢንተርኔት ጋር ኮኔክት ማድረግ አለባችሁ። ለምን? ለዚህኛው ፕሮጀክት ለማይ ፈርስት አፕ የሚለው ፕሮጀክት የሚያስፈልገው እነዚህ ዲፔንደንሲስ የግሬድድ ዲፔንደንሲስ ከኢንተርኔት ስለሆነ ዳውንሎድ የሚሆኑ ማለት ነው። ስለዚህ ጋር ዳውንሎድ ያደርግልኝ ነው ግሬድድ ፕሮጀክትስ ፕሮግረስ ለማየት እዚህ ጋር ፕሮግረስ ማየት ትችላላችሁ። ወይ ደግሞ እቺኛው ቢልድ የምትለውን ክሊክ አድርጋችሁ ምንድነው ዳውንሎድ ያደርግ ያለውን የሚለውን እዚህ ጋር ማየት ትችላላችሁ ማለት ነው። ስለዚህ all the dependencies that are going to be used for this entire project as well as for the app module is going to be downloaded from the internet. So make sure that you are connected or your device is connected with the internet. So አንዴ ያቺ ግሬድል የተለያዩ ዲፔንደንሲስ ስቶር ምናርግባት ግሬድል አንዴ እነዚህ ዲፔንደንሲስ ዳውንሎድ ከሆነ በኋላ ከዛ ፎር ለሌላ ጊዜ ሌላ ፕሮጀክት አንድሮይድ ፕሮጀክት ክሬት ስናደርግ ኢንተርኔት ሊያስፈልገን ከኢንተርኔት ኮኔክት ማድረግ ሊያስፈልገን ይችላል ማለት ነው። መጀመሪያ ክሬት ስናደርግ አንድሮይድ ፕሮጀክታችን ዳውንሎድ ያደርግነው ግሬድል እሱ ነው የሚጠቀመው ማለት ነው። ስለዚህ በአቴንሽን ሄር በደንብ እንዳታረጉ። ለመጀመሪያ ጊዜ አንድሮይድ ፕሮጀክት ክሬት ያደርጋችሁ ከሆነ ከኢንተርኔት ጋር ኮኔክት ማድረጋችሁን ቼክ አድርጉ። so that all the dependencies, the gradle dependencies are going to be downloaded from the internet. that's why እዚህ ጋር downloading ያለው all the gradle እዚህ ጋር download ያደርግልኝ ነው። so የተወሰነ ታይም ይወስዳል፣ ቴክ ያደርጋል። so after a moment እንዴት ነው እቺኛው ግሬድል ዳውንሎድ ከኢንተርኔት ዳውንሎድ የሚያደርግልን ቼክ ለማድረግ ጨርሷል፣ ዳውንሎድ አድርጎ መጨረሱና ለመጨረስ ቼክ ለማድረግ I can see this progress. Here is on the way on the progress, or I can see this progress. Okay, importing this app graded project import ያደርግልኝ ነው ማለት ነው። ስለዚህ እነዚህ ፕሮሰስ እዚህ ጋር የሚያሳይና እዚህ ጋር የሚያሳይ ምናልባት እዚህ ጋር ቢልድ የምትለውን ቱል ከሌለች እዚህ ጋር ፋይልስ ገብታችሁ እዚህ ጋር ክሊክ አድርጋችሁ ኦኬ then view press አድርጋችሁ ኦኬ then tool windows የሚለውን በመምረጥ ግሬድል ከዚህ እዚህ ያለች ቢልድ እቺኛዋ ኢኔብል ማድረግ ትችላላችሁ ማለት ነው ክሊክ በማድረግ so that you can directly observe what is happening okay during this importing on our application the graded projects. so from internet download አድርጎ import ያደርግልኝ ነው ማለት ነው። ስለዚህ it takes some time, so after a moment I will be back. Here is it starts all the downloading, where it downloads from the internet as I have told you. so we have to be በጣም ትንሽ ትዕግስት ማድረግ አለብን። actually this the time for downloading those plugins is depending on the connection, whether you have a fast connection or very slow, it depends on that. So you can see here is all the progress. So here is all the progress. So I mean still it doesn't finish the downloading of all the plugins. I mean the downloading of all the dependencies, the Gradle dependencies. So we have to wait until all the dependencies are going to be downloaded. Here it is almost finished the downloading of all the dependencies, the Gradle dependencies from the internet. Here it starts by here it notifies me, it checks this one, indicating that so it is on the way, almost it is done. Here is still it continues to download all the dependencies, the Gradle dependencies. As you can see, all the dependencies or the Gradle dependencies are still on the way, on the progress. As you can see, it takes about 30 minutes only for downloading those Gradle dependencies. So በጣም ትዕግስተኛ መሆን አለባችሁ። Actually I am installing this Android Studio setup on the system or on the PC with the 4GB RAM size. ስለዚህ RAM size በጣም ትንሽ ስለሆነ የፐርፎርማንስ በዛው ልክ እንትን ስለሆነ መሰለኝ እንጂ የተሻለ ፐርፎርማንስ ወይ ደግሞ RAM size 8 እና ከዛ በላይ ጊጋባይት RAM size ያለው ሲስተም ላይ ይሄን ያክል ታይም ቴክ ያደርጋል ብዬ አላስብም። So ultimately it depends on the level of your internet speed as well as ይሄ ዳውንሎድ አድርጎ ዲፔንደንሲስ እነዚህ Gradle ዲፔንደንስ ዳውንሎድ አድርጎ መጨረሱ እንዴት ነው የማውቀው? እቺኛዋ ቲክ ያደርግልኛል፣ ራይት ያደርግልኛል። ይሄ ፕሮግረስም አይኖርም ማለት ነው። በዛ እነዚህ Gradle dependencies, all the dependencies that are going to be downloaded from the internet ያው totally complete እንዳደረገ ቼክ ማድረግ ትችላላችሁ። Here is still on the way. All the dependencies are still downloading on the way. The Gradle dependencies, and you can aware that the project structure has been like so ሲጨርስ ደግሞ ወዴት ኮምፖዝ እንደሚያደርገውን ይሄንኛው አዌር ማድረግ ያው ማየት ትችላላችሁ ግራ መንገዳችሁ ፕሮጀክት ስትራክቸሩ። So it is almost here is importing contents root data or importing library dependency data, and I think here is as I have told you the project structure that I have shown you is now you can see it right now how it have composed like so. ስለዚህ ፕሮጀክት ስትራክቸሩ ከየት ወደዚህ ራሱ እንትን አድርጎታል። ስለዚህ still on the way ነው ያለው። የተወሰነ ዜጋ ኢምፖርቲንግ ሜቪን ሪፖዚቶሪ ዳታ ይላል። ስለዚህ የተወሰነ ሞመንት ይቀረዋል። የተወሰነ እንጠብቀዋለን ማለት ነው። ኦኬ I think it is almost over. ወደ እየጨረሰ ነው ፕሮጀክት ስትራክቸሩ። ከፕሮጀክት ወደ አንድሮይድ ፕሮጀክት ስትራክቸር ዜጋ ተቀይሯል። ዳዝ ማተር ችግር የለም። here we go ዜጋ ጨርሰዋል ማለት ነው። ኦኬ you can see it build successful in ስንት ታይም እንደወሰደ ማየት ትችላላችሁ። 38 ደቂቃ ከ32 ሰከንድስ። ለምንድን ነው Gradle dependencies and all the resources that we need in our Gradle download ለማድረግ እና ኢንተግሬት ለማድረግ ይሄ this much amount time ወስዷል ማለት ነው። ስለዚህ በቀላሉ ማለት ብዙ ጊዜ ወስዳል ምናምን ብላችሁ ኢንተራፕት እንዳታረጉት። ኦኬ it takes time። እነዚህ Gradle dependencies ከኢንተርኔት ለማውረድ ምናምን ነገር የራሱ የሆነ ታይም ስለሚወስድ የኔ እንኳን በርግጥ የፒሲ ፐርፎርማንሱ እንዳልኳችሁ የዚ ፐርፎርማንስ ዊዝ 4 ጊጋባይት ኦፍ ራም ስለሆነ እሱም የራሱ የሆነ ተጽዕኖ ሊኖረው ይችላል። ግን እንግዲህ ማለት በዛም በለበዚህ ዚስ ማች ብዙ ታይም ቴክ ሊያደርግ እንደሚችል አሲም ማድረግ አለባችሁ ማለት ነው። ስለዚህ እዚህ ጋር ይውላችሁ እዚህ ጋር ፕሮግረስ ላይ የነበረውን አሁን የለም ቲክ አድርጎልኛል። ምንድነው ኢምፕላይድ የሚያደርገው እነዛ ሁሉንም ግሬድልስ ወይ ደግሞ ፕሮጀክቴ ማይ ፈርስት አፕ ሚሊዮን ፕሮጀክት ሳክሰስፉሊ ክሬት እንዳረኩ ኢምፕላይ ያደርግልኛል ማለት ነው። ሳክሰስፉሊ ክሬት ለማድረግ ደግሞ all the dependencies all the Gradle dependencies should have to be downloaded from the internet for the first time. I mean our project ለመጀመሪያ ጊዜ ክሬት ያደረግን ከሆነ ከዛ በኋላ እኛው Gradle somewhere ላይ የሆነ ቦታ ላይ አሳያችኋለሁ በኋላ ወይ ደግሞ ሌላ ቪዲዮ ላይ አሳያችኋለሁ እዛ ላይ ያስቀምጣል። ከዛ በኋላ ለሁለተኛ ጊዜ ሶስተኛ ጊዜ አዲስ አንድሮይድ ፕሮጀክት ወይ ደግሞ አፕሊኬሽን ክሬት ስናደርግ ከዚህ መጀመሪያ አሁን እነዚህ አሁን ኢንስታል ወይ ደግሞ ዳውንሎድ ያደረግናቸው ግሬድልስ እዛ ላይ የሆነ ቦታ ላይ የተቀመጠችው ግሬድል እሷን ነው አክሰስ የሚያደርገው ማለት ነው። ስለዚህ ለኢንተግሬሽን የተወሰነ ሞመንት ይወስዳል እንጂ ይሄን ያክል 1 ደቂቃ ወይ ደግሞ 38 ደቂቃ ምናምን ነገር አይወስድም ማለት ነው። ስለዚህ ሶሎሞት በቃ ጨርሷል ማለት ነው። ሶ እዚህ ጋር የተወሰነ ሴትአፕ ራን ኮንፊግሬሽንስ ሌሎች አንዳንድ ያው ኢንዴክስስ ምናምን ነገር ቼክ እያደረገልኝ ነው እንጂ እነዚህ ግሬድልስ ኦልሞስት በቃ ጨርሶልኛል ማለት ነው። ኦኬ ሶ እዚህ ጋር let me minimize this one ሚኒማይዝ ማድረግ እችላለሁ። እችኛዋ ቢልድ የምትለውን ይሄ ዋትስ ኒው የሚለውን እዚህ ጋር ዋትስ ኒው ኢን ሌዲ ባክስ አንድሮይድ አዲስ ቨርዥን አንድሮይድ ስቱዲዮ ቨርዥን ስለሆነ ከዚህ ከአዲሱ አንድሮይድ ስቱዲዮ ቨርዥን ምን አዲስ ነገር አለ የሚለውን እዚህ ጋር አንዳንድ ነገር አስቀምጦላችኋል ማየት ትችላላችሁ። ሶ አይ ካን ሚኒማይዝ እችኛዋ ራሱ ሚኒማይዝ ማድረግ እችላለሁ። ዘን የተወሰነ ሞመንት እስቲ እኛው አናላይዚንግ ያደርግልኝ ነው። እዚህ ጋር ይውላችሁ የሆነ ያው ከዚህኛው ፔጅ ላይ እዚህ ጋር ከዚህ ጋር የተያዘ ነው ገና ኦን ዘ ዌይ እኛውም ወደዚህ ክሊክ ሳረግ ተሰሚስትሩ ገና ሎድ እያደረገ ነው ማለት ነው። ምክንያቱም እዚህ ጋር የተወሰነ ሴቲንግ አፕ ራን ኮንፊግሬሽንስ ምናምን የሚል ገና እዚች ጋር ፕሮሰስ ላይ ስላለች እኛው ሲጨርስ ይሄም ያሳየኛል ይሄም ያሳይ ይጨርሳል ማለት ነው። ስለዚህ ኢንዴክሲንግ አሁን ኢንዴክሲንግ ያደርግልኝ ነው። ስለዚህ የተወሰነ ሞመንት ትንሽ ሞመንት እንጠብቃለን። here the name of our application that we have created is my first app ይላል። so this app has one module which is app module. You can expand this app module like so. There's 3 subfolders. It has 3 subfolders: the manifest subfolder, the Java, the resource. REST stands for resource folder. Okay, so on the Java subfolder, when you expand this Java subfolder, we have this for the first package that we are going to work. ስለዚህ ላይ ነው የምንሰራው። this is for the Android testing and the testing purposes, so don't touch or we are not working with those two. At least for the time being we are not working with those 2 packages, but we are working with this one, so I can expand this one. So here is the Java file which is named as mainActivity.java. so when I double click this one, here is it opened as follows. So when we create an Android application with that template that I have shown you when we first create our project, it comes up with a single activity. The name of that activity is main activity. So that main activities come up with this .java main activity.java file as well as this activity_main.xml file, because an activity has ultimately 2 files, or an activity is going to be programmed or designed using two files, the Java file plus the XML file. Here is the Java version file. Here is the XML version file, which is activity_main.xml that automatically come up with that since ኢምፒቲ ቪው አክቲቪቲ የሚለውን ቴምፕሌት ስለሆነ መረጥ ነው። ከዛ ቴምፕሌት ጋር የተያዘ እሱ ቴምፕሌት ከመምረጣችን ጋር የተያዘ እነዚህ ፋይሎች አውቶማቲካሊ ለኛ ክሬት ያደርግልናል ማለት ነው። ስለዚህ ከዚህ መነሻ ቴምፕሌት ማለት የሆነ መነሻ የተወሰነ ሴት ኦፍ ኢንስትራክሽንስ ወይ ደግሞ ሶርስ ኮድስ ያለው ከዛ ያው ቢልድ ወይ ደግሞ ኮዲንግ ከዛ እዛ ላይ የራስን እየጨመርክ ትሄዳለህ ማለት ነው። ልክ ይሄን ልክ እንደመነሻ ማለት ነው እንጂ ራሳችን ይሄ ፐብሊክ ክላስ ምናምን ብለን ራሳችን አልጻፍ ነው። ይሄንኛው ሶርስ ኦፍ ኮድ ከመረጥ ነው ቴምፕሌት ጋር ይያዛል ማለት ነው። ስለዚህ let me minimize this one. Here is their resource folder. It has so many subfolders: the draw subfolder, the layout, the map map, the values, the XML. All those subfolders are under this resource folder. So what are those subfolders? Those all are resources. This is draw is a resource, layout is a resource, map is a resource, values is a resource, XML is a resource. Those all are categorized under this. They are all the resources. So we are going to discuss in detail about those files, those folders and files under the resource folder. But for the time being, this activity_main.xml file is located under this layout. So when you expand this one, here is the file. So in order to design a user interface on our activity, we are going to do on this one activity_main.xml. Then in order to control the functionalities or behaviors of this UI graphical interface that has been designed over using this file, then behavior ወይ ደግሞ property ወይ ደግሞ functionality ደግሞ ኮንትሮል ማድረገው ደግሞ በዚህኛው ጃቫ ፋይል ነው ማለት ነው። ሁለቱንም ጎን ለጎን የሚሄዱ ፋይሎች ናቸው ማለት ነው። ይሄ ፕላስ ዲስ አክቲቪቲ ክሬት ያደርግልኛል ማለት ነው። ኦኬ so still setting up run configuration ይላል። all the progress are here. It says all about setting up run configurations. It takes also a moment. I can click and see what is going on this progress. So let me click this one. Here is on the background task, setting up run configurations, computing project size. Here is updating the indexes. all እንደዛ ይላል። ስለዚህ እዚህ ጋር ያንዳንዱ ነገር ይሄንኛው ፕሮግረስ መጨረስ አለበት። ካልሆነ ለምሳሌ ይሄንኛው still on the way indexing ይላል። እዚህ ጋር ክሊክ ስታደርጉም .xml ጭኛው still ይሄንኛው ኢኔብል ያደርግላችሁ ማለት ነው። either the design version ወይ ደግሞ the editor code version ነው ማለት ነው። ስለዚህ ይሄንኛው ግድ መጨረስ አለበት። ኦኬ let me hide it። ይሄንኛው ይብላችሁ ሎድ እያደረገ ነው ስቲል፣ ምክንያቱም እነዚህ ከዚህ ጋር የተያዘ ስለሆነ እነዚህ ፕሮግረስ ውስጥ ያለው ፕሮግረስ ከሚጨርስ ድረስ የተወሰነ እሱም የራሱ የሆነ ታይም ይወስዳል። ስለዚህ ይሄም በትንሽ ሞመንት ወይ ደግሞ በትንሽ ታይም ኢንዴክሱም ምንም ሎድ አድርጎ ቶሎ የሚጨርስ ነገር አይደለም ማለት ነው። ስለዚህ ካን ማለት ዲቴይሉ እዚህ ጋር ክሊክ አድርጋችሁ እያንዳንዱ ምን እየሰራ እንደሆነ ማየት ትችላላችሁ እዚህ ጋር። ኦኬ ወደዚህኛው .gradle ስቲል ኮምፖነንትስ ሎድ እያደረገልኝ ነው፣ ኢንተግሬት እያደረገልኝ ነው ማለት ነው። ስቲል it takes some moment, so be patient on that። እዚህ ጋር ይኸውላችሁ እዚህ ጋር እያንዳንዱ ስራ እዚህ ጋር ብዙ ስራዎች ነው እንትን እያደረገ ያለው እየሰራ ያለው እዚህ ጋር። ስለዚህ it takes its own time. so even if እነዚህ gradle dependencies ዳውንሎድ አድርገው መጨረሱ ኢንዲኬት ቢያደርግልኝ ቢያሳየኝም እዚህ ጋር ራሱ የሆነ የተወሰነ ሞመንት እንደሚወስድ መገንዘብ አለብን ማለት ነው። ሶ ብቻ ይሄንኛው ለመስራት ብዙ የራሱ የሆነ ሰዓት ሊወስድ እንደሚችል ግንዛቤ ውስጥ ማስገባት አለባችሁ ማለት ነው። እንዲህ በቀላሉ ultimately እንዳልኳችሁ ግን it depends on the speed of your internet connection as well as the performance of your PC. እነዚህ processes you can hide it, you can expand it so as to show what's going on. Here it is almost completed the scanning, the process that were processed right here. The scanning of the index and related stuffs has been almost finished. Yeah, now it is working. It shows our XML activity underscore main.xml file, the design, okay, the design part. If you can see the coding part, you can hear when you hover over this, it says all about the code. You can click over here and you can see the code, or if you can see, or if you can follow the code parallel with the design. Here is when you hover over this one, it says all about the split, so that it helps us to see the code, the source code with its respective design. So when you click this one, here is the code, here is the design. Or when you press or click this button, which is, it says all about the design. I mean, when we want to see the design only without the code, here we go, this is the design. So it is, I mean, my favorite is to see the code parallel with this one, with the design. Here is a XML activity underscore main.xml and main activity.java. Here is this process that were over there, the analyzing process are already done because of the indexing stuff and related stuff has been finished their processes. Okay, this is all about how to download and install the Android Studio setup with all the SDK components and related stuff. And this is all about the video. ሌላ ጊዜ በሌላ ቪዲዮ እስከምንገናኝ መልካም ጊዜ። ደህና ሁኑ።